We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Change Our Minds. I'm going to be celebrating tonight, and I couldn't ever celebrate without my man, Jody.
Happy 100,000 subscriber plaque, my
Woo,
dude.
Cheers.
We here, man. What's up, everybody?
Got my White Claw.
Great celebration.
Cheers into my man.
Shout out to y'all, man.
We're going to celebrate.
Man?
We're going to go through this. We got some stories. Our main event talking about Luke. What? Luke joining the Mandalorian. He's been trending all day. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to lots of stories. So stay tuned. Lots of stuff to talk about today.
Oh, shit. I talked about that in my review. Is it possible?
Is it? Well, we're going to get to it. We got lots more. We'll be taking your comments and questions. I see a lot of people already out there. I see all you guys. Sathwick, James, Tyree, Paul, Tony, Joshua, welcome. Holmesley, Lewis is in the building. Always good to see Nerd Report. D Smooth. I got so much love today from that video I posted. So thanks to you and all of you guys who tuned in.
Man. That was beautiful, bro.
I made that a little bit ago, and I was just holding on to it because I didn't want to get too emotional in it. Because talking about my kids, like in that regard, Jody's like sort of like the off the limits for me. Of like I don't like that shit out there. But that one felt because I didn't share it all. But I wanted to just put something out there so people could sort of get it, and just so I could, and so we could hopefully look back on that someday. Whoa, that's how we start it. What's up,
Andy,
Paul?
hope you both have a fire stream. Just wanted to say the video you dropped today was inspiring, and we are all here to support you in this community. Thanks for not giving up.
Thank you, my man, Paul. You've been such a cool part of this channel. Even when we fight or we get tough, I love it because you take it. But it's all with love. But I love getting in him, especially the politics. He's pissed off some people with his politics on here. But look, at least he's ballsy to put out there and say it. He stands where he sticks up for what he believes. But Paul, thank you for being a part of this community. I love you. Thank you for that support and that kind words. And yeah, Jody, before we get started on the topic, let's just talk. Hang a little bit. Here it is. I had it a while. I've had it a little bit ago because. It was I don't know. I've had it for two or 3 weeks. And I was sort of just figuring out a way to enjoy it because look, the reality is like I've not to sound cocky, but it's like I've gotten a few of these in my day, and this one's mine though. This one's like done on me, and it was
you.
And I actually
redemption arc.
I wasn't gonna ask, and then it was until I told that story, which you guys can go watch my crying video. My kid's like all into YouTube. I don't know if your kid is too, but like they're obsessed, and it's like
YouTube is TV now.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I mean they're all just watching everything, and I'm like, it's just frustrating because it's like, wow, I was a big deal in that space. Like I could have gotten access to any YouTuber I wanted in that space, and to think like and then I just as he was getting old enough to be able to cash that card in and be the cool dad and just be fun, it all comes crashing down. But I just thought, well, it's never going to happen again. I can never impress him with my YouTube cred these days at his age. And so at one point he just asked, and I was like, all right, I'll try to do it. And then YouTube tried to cockblock it. Like they just wouldn't give it to me. Oh, your channel is this. And it took a while and a lot of pushing, but look, now it's here, and look, it's a silly plaque, but it means something to me because this one's Popcorn Planet. That means I did the work. This is my channel. This is nobody else's channel. So I'm very proud of this one. My kid's very proud of this one. So he's been having it. He's been holding on to it and hanging out with it. But I'm gonna now put it back here for he can borrow it whenever he wants. But very very proud of this. So thank you to all of you guys who helped me get over that hump to get to this level of all. I mean, this is all the work I've done solo. So this as a solo channel to know that I've done enough work to get me over that milestone. It's awesome. I mean, apparently that's one you want to hit too. Is that one you're trying to get?
Yeah, that's the only thing that I wanted from YouTube as far as acknowledgement goes. Just let me get that plaque, bro. Let me get that stupid plaque to get some acknowledgement that I exist on this platform because YouTube's algorithm sucks balls and they blacklisted my channel. They don't recommend me my channel. They killed my subs. They unsubscribe people on purpose. They don't put me recommended. I understand why, because I say the N word and I talk about body parts and people having relations with one another and other. I talk about the stuff that real people talk about when they're not on camera, and they don't like that. So YouTube, allow this freedom of speech to actually happen. Go back to the way you were like 10 years ago when it was really about broadcasting yourself. That was y'all slogan. I mean, besides that, I'm glad you got that, bro. And You call it silly, but it's not. That's the redemption arc. That's Popcorn Planet. That's the redemption Andy Signor, who came back from the ground after everybody stomped and pissed on him, stabbed him in the back, and spit on his corpse. You rose up out the ashes like the man, like freaking Leonardo DiCaprio from Revenant, and somehow climbed and swam and
I
ate your way to
prefer
redemption.
I prefer Andy Dufresne in Shawshank. So as someone has commented once, you crawled through that sewer of shit to get out of there. But yeah, good example. But thank you, man.
You chose enchilada night, I'll never know.
But well, just because it's right there, I always stare at it. That it's somehow always been a part of my life. But who thought that I would have to be Andy needing a redemption story? But look, man, thank you to you as well. I couldn't have done this without you, without your supporters. I mean, come on, I'm no dummy. I know a lot of the corners here has come to support and respect me as I've come to respect them and you. So I'm glad we've been able to make this partnership. You have inspired me. You've made me more real and genuine. I try to keep it a little commercial. The producer in me is still there.
Hybrid. You're a hybrid between the two.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to like mix the real with still producing solid content. So we'll see if it works.
I need to do that shit and see what YouTube does for me.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, dude, you know me. Hit me up anytime. I will spill the beans on my lessons as often as you want. But keeping you, man. Anyway, so cheers to you. Thank you to Jody. Thank you to all you guys out there for this. This has been a nice day to put it out there and get some love from you guys. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And then I saw Myra already was out. She couldn't make the stream, but Myra, I love you, Myra. Thank you so much for being always part of this family. She was the first one to drop here it was. Can I replay it again? Will it come in? There it is. She had have a good show tonight, Andy. Jody, I might not be able to make the live stream because hours are not consistent. Sending my love and support. And then she sent another one. Congratulations. Thank you, Myra. We always love you and your support. You've always been here trying your best.
Glad you're back at work and everything.
Yeah, good. I know a lot of people over at Disney are not, and so I hope you can keep something going because it's brutal out there. So keep doing what you got to do. And then Third Man, thank you, Third Man. I don't. He's talking about this Star Wars. We'll get to that in a second. You don't like the idea of casting Sebastian Stan as a young Luke, especially since he just looks like him. It's too familiar. Go with an unknown. But I'll come back to that when we get to that topic. But thank you for that support. And then Paul, thank you for dropping that big donation through the Streamlabs, so it gets less YouTube cuts. I appreciate that. All right, so everything good with you, my man?
Yeah, man, everything is good. I'm just glad to be here on time. I was a little bit late though, but hey, let's have fun. Let's celebrate that plaque you got, bro. This is for the kids that you do it for, man. This is for Popcorn Planet, Jody's Corner, man. Let's have a fun stream. I'm ready to relax, to be honest, man. My day was hectic, but I'm here. Let's talk pop culture.
Let's have some fun. Pop culture today. We're gonna do it. Before I do, I do want to plug one last thing. Make sure you guys can go support it, because as part of that good message, I want to make sure you guys go click the new Hugging the Cactus over there. Yeah. If you go click the new episode, you can get. I have a really fascinating conversation with David Silverman, who's a popular atheist author. You may have heard of who he is. He was very popular, but he got canceled as well for cheating on his wife and doing some crazy things. And so we had a conversation, not too long, but a good in-depth conversation where we talk about infidelity, why we did what we did, and we have a lot more coming. I taped another episode with someone I'm excited to introduce you guys to soon. So lots more coming every week. A new in-depth conversation will be happening over there. I'm putting the link in here, so put it in your queues. Go show it some love at some point. For the Hugging the Cactus, get that algorithm back up, because I want to keep providing good conversations. And Jody, at some point I'm going to talk to you about figuring out a good topic where you and I could do something we haven't really talked about more seriously over there. So stay tuned. We'll get Jody there. But lots coming. So stay tuned. So go hit that up. All right, but let's get to some of this fun, shall we? Let's get to this main event, this main topic. And I got to give a shout out to Ryan Smallman. Ryan Smallman on Twitter here. I got to give props for due, because he made this fire Sebastian Stan as Luke Mandalorian fan artwork. Now, this is not happening yet. No one's confirmed this. No, I can't confirm if this is a real deal, but obviously I know you said you've come up with it. A lot of people have sort of been speculating, could they, since this takes after Return of the Jedi, The Mandalorian, could they bring in Luke Skywalker? Beyond that, on top of it, Return of the Jedi, I guess, is the anniversary or something today. Luke has just been trending today all through Twitter. A lot of people talking about it, and this has been coming up for a while. A lot of people have been putting this out there in the world. I guess just hoping it could become a thing. But the other part of it being that Sebastian Stan looks crazy similar to young Mark Hamill. Like, it's weird. And I know people have talked about this before. This is not the first time we're putting it out there. But as you can see in this image, it's
I
like,
think the haircut has a lot to do with that, though. The haircut is pretty much most of what he is. Right?
Look, I will prove it, because if you see the side by side,
I'm picturing him in my head, and I don't see Mark Hamill.
Insane. It's insane. Look at this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Like, look at that. That's Sebastian Stan.
That's altered.
That's Sebastian Stan. That's Mark Hamill.
That's manipulated. No way. That's just him.
Isn't that wild? There's a bunch of them. The point being, like, he's got the look, man. He's totally got the look. If they do the right makeup and everything else, like, he's got that Mark Hamill vibe. And so anyway, regardless of whether he plays it or not, it's that people are fan casting, and it's fascinating. I think he could be a good actor. He could pull it off. He's got a nice young look similar to Mark Hamill. He's already in sort of the nerdy fandoms. It's one people are suggesting, but beyond that, the real question is whether they cast Sebastian Stan or not. Should they bring back Luke into this show, into Mandalorian?
Yes.
And
yes.
I was gonna say, I think we're. The more I think about it,
why would you not?
The more I think about it, so we're talking about redemption arcs, right? And redemption stories. I mean, what character in fandom deserves a better redemption arc than Luke Skywalker, who just got destroyed in the sequel trilogy? I mean, what a sad, pathetic waste. And poor Mark Hamill. Granted, he's now older, and he can't come back to do it properly. But if you could get someone good like Sebastian Stan or somebody else and bring them in to show us a Luke as a Jedi in his prime, sort of doing a story along, whether he's training Yoda or whatever, I mean, sign me up. So it sounds like we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to change your mind on this one, bro, because I'm on board, bro. This is fire. I talked about it on my review. I just did the review a couple of days ago. Y'all check it out when y'all get time. I said, yo, so she's talking about putting Baby Yoda, forgive me, Grogu just isn't sticking for me. I'll try, but I'm going to keep saying Baby Yoda. I mean, no disrespect. So Baby Yoda on the top of a mountain, and she said, someone will come for him. I'm like, bro, look at the timing. This is what? Is this 5 years, 10 years after Return of the Jedi? Something like that?
Well, I have a comment on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, so he's alone. He's the last Jedi. Like, bro, like Luke is the last one. It makes, who else is available between, well, I know people talk about Rebels and Clone Wars, which I have not seen. Some people keep saying the name of some character. I forgot his name, but a lot of people are saying, oh, I believe it's going to be this guy who's going to come. But it would be so much more incredible if it was Luke Skywalker showing up. Now, Sebastian Stan, do that. CG his face. Do that. Do whatever it is that you think is necessary. But what's for sure is if you put Luke Skywalker on that mountain to show Baby Yoda what's up, not only does that make Mandalorian better, but it instantly makes me think of the original trilogy. Like, Yoda trained Luke in Empire Strikes Back. And what is that to go full circle for him to train a younger baby version of Yoda, bruh? That's fire. Sign me up.
Yeah, look, I mean, I love that too. I mean, I just think it's still even giving Luke something to do post Jedi would be really fun to see. It's like just like seeing something of Vader before New Hope, where we could see him in his damage. Like we've talked about this in the show, but the fact that we didn't get a even better scene in Rogue One with him just destroying that whole base and the people on the beach and everything, like. They had the opportunity, and someone there just didn't think we should probably do like a whole third act where Vader just shows up and kills everybody. And we've talked. I don't believe that. There's no way they would have shot that and then held on to it. That was a last minute thing that they tried. That was because I really think Disney effed up. Disney was like, shit, why didn't we do that? There's no reason you hold on to that.
They did it.
There's no reason you hold on to that. Anyway, I don't want to go down a wormhole again because we'll agree to disagree. But regardless, the fact whether they shot it or not, the fact that they didn't give us that is just so. It's for that, and the fact that they didn't give us, Han, Luke, and Leia go and act for one last sort of moment together, just a scene together, is just tragic what they've done to these characters. So to go back and sort of figure out a way to give us young Luke again in his prime after Jedi, to do something or potentially give him a smaller mission or a smaller limited series like they're doing with Obi-Wan after we meet him maybe with Yoda or something. You're right, with Baby Yoda. I'm all for it. At this point, it's like that's what Mandalorian is sort of becoming, right? It's a Western where he's traveling from character to character in the Star Wars universe. Sometimes a new one, sometimes one you're familiar with. It's like a stunt cast. It's like this week, it's a crossover with the Golden Girls, you know? Like that's clearly what the Mandalorian is becoming, as sort of a standalone. He crosses over with whatever they need to do, and it's part of the world. So if that's what this show's going to become, and everyone's blowing their mind, off of Ahsoka Tano like being there, dude, yes, of course, bring back Luke at this point. If you can come up with a good idea, which feels like Favreau and Filoni are actually doing a good job bringing these things together.
Yes.
Why the hell not? So it sounds like we're on the same page on this.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Everything that you said was pretty much on point. I'll go a little bit further because I was thinking about this while I was listening to you. Think about how Mandalorian is slowly before our very eyes becoming the redemption arc of Star Wars. Mm-hmm. It's like, hello everybody, I'm so sorry that Star Wars and the movies suck. Thank Kathleen Kennedy. By the way, fire Kathleen Kennedy, get her out of there. Her contract's about to be up. She's about to be done anyway. This Mandalorian show is the apology tour. It's the redemption tour. Like, yo, y'all like Star Wars? Come over here. Tired of those terrible prequel that sequel trilogy? Come on over to Mandalorian. Sick of Luke Skywalker getting shafted, sucking the titty milk of an alien on a beach? Come over here to Mandalorian. Sick of Poe being the man in episode 7, but then getting sidelined by a purple-haired chick in episode 8? Come on over here to Mandalorian. But think about it this way. Besides that, think about how many people's backs this is going to rub the right way. Because Mark Hamill sat there like a trooper, knowing they were destroying his character, Luke Skywalker. He was vocally, publicly upset, talking about Luke would never do that. I don't understand. He was upset. He called the new Star Wars movies Transformers movies. Like, it's like the Transformers. I said, wow, he is completely destroying these movies. Huge low blow. So not only are you going to be like, you'll make Mark Hamill satisfied. He has an opportunity to play the character that he personally loves a lot more. And you got the fans that would love to see him. Everybody wins in this scenario, man. I would hate to see someone else other than Luke, but it's possible that it very might well be, and we're going to end up disappointed. I don't think we should get our hopes so high. I'm still keeping them reserved because I want it to be Luke, Andy, but I don't think they're going to use Luke. I don't. I want them to, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I mean, it's pressure if they do. I mean, there's a couple things I want to respond to because I think Kathleen Kennedy is on her way out, but it's interesting because it feels like they gave her Obi-Wan to be her sort of last swan song to potentially leave on a high note if she can pull that off with Deborah Chow, who I think she's teamed up with, girl power. And I like Deborah Chow, so it's possible maybe she gets to leave on a high note and do a good Obi-Wan series. And then, you know what? Great. Thank you, Kathleen. Now bye. If that's how they can sort of figure out a way to politely have her exit, that I hope that's kind of what happens, because I think it's clear Favreau and Filoni are the ones who needs to sort of shepherd the future of where this franchise goes. And I can't imagine Bob Iger and everyone else isn't feeling the same way fans are. Seeing how the Ahsoka Tano like reveal and have all the fans going nuts, it's like, duh. Star Wars hasn't had those types of moments in a long time. So it's on that right track. What's interesting, though, is there's two things I want to bring up related to this topic. Filoni did a interview. So did Rosario Dawson in Vanity Fair. But he brings up this idea that the timeline is not chronological. He says, you do episodes, he says here, speaking of Vanity Fair, he teased that talking about sort of, could this be the spoiler alert for Rebels, sort of, even though I haven't watched it, but the way it ends, they're searching for Ezra, who's with Admiral Thrawn, who they name dropped at the end of the last episode. And so they assume, like, could that be happening? And he goes, well, that's not necessarily chronological. I think the thing that people will most not understand is that they want to go in a linear fashion. But as I learned as a kid, nothing in Star Wars really works in a linear fashion. You do episodes 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. So in the vein of that history, when you look at the epilogue of Rebels, you don't really know how much time has passed. So it's possible that story I'm telling in The Mandalorian actually takes place prior to that. Possible. I'm saying it's possible. So
I like that.
He's really putting it out there to like sort of say, look, don't be so sure on what you know from the cartoons, because he might want to change things. He goes in a lot more in depth. The Vanity Fair article is fascinating because now they've gotten some of this out, they could finally talk about it in more depth. But he clearly talks about the fact that, look, they could start changing canon. They could start adjusting things. And then there's a lot of fan theories, as I've talked to some fans who are more into Rebels. Clearly, I'm going to have to catch up at some point. But apparently there was time travel done in the show. And so there's other theories now, like, could they use Baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever, or some other method to attempt to create a separate Star Wars timeline? I guess similar to like Star Trek did with like the Kelvin timeline. And could there be an opportunity for them to then potentially rewrite a new future for Star Wars that doesn't require them to follow through with what happened in the sequel trilogy, and that they can write that off as the whatever they call it, universe timeline? You know, it sounds kind of like, at first I'm like, but anything they can do to respectfully justify a way to rewrite the future and wipe out those sequel trilogies, like, sign me up. And so if they can figure out a way to slyly do that, I'm down. I mean, do you think that's possible? Would you be down for that?
Yeah, I'd be down for it. I'm cautious because, man, when the MCU started to delve in time, it was sloppy. Endgame, extremely sloppy. A lot of stuff didn't make sense, but when you're talking about time travel, it's hard to say anything makes sense because some would argue that time even exists. But I get time travel. So listen, I just feel like time travel is the most lowest common denominator when it comes to narrative storytelling. Once you go time travel, ain't no coming back. Because if you could travel in time, there are no more stakes, there are no more consequences, because you could just go back in time to fix said problem. And I feel like it's best. Oh, well, we got some.
Marcos!
Andy, congratulations for all your hard work. Your redemption bittersweet. You've carved out a new platform, Popcorn Planet. And more happy to be a member.
Love you, Marcus. Always happy you're here. You are one of my most ongoing supporters. You do it every show. You're dropping it. So, dude, I love you. Thank you. I'm here for you anytime you want. And I couldn't be here without you and your support. You've really kept these streams going. There are certain nights where only Marcus puts together the drops of dime, but luckily he drops a big amount of money that's sort of, all right, I can make it to the next week. So thank you for how everybody should throw a round of applause for Marcus out there. Marcus it's Marcus, but his screen name is different. But throw some Popcorn Planets in the air, and love over to him for helping to fund this stream for all of you guys, and to help use his inspiration to back him up and drop some more coin on our celebratory night. But thank you, Marcus, for helping that lead that out. Hopefully some people will follow you. But Jody, you were saying, yes, you are right. It's sloppy, right? It can get sloppy, but getting to the point, it sounds like you're like, if it means erasing the Disney sequels, and they can use that as sort of an excuse to say, yeah, time travel, cool, they're gone. Now we can do this and never do time travel again. Would that be okay for you?
No, because I think you could come up with a better way of doing it. Look, I'm cool with. I would rather them. There's two things I'd rather them do. I'd rather a Disney press conference or letter released to the public letting them know that they messed up and those are not canon. Just like they did those
I almost spit out my beer. That's not a beer, but
bro,
dude, they are never doing that.
They did it with the comic books.
Doing that.
They did it with the comic books. They did it with a lot of the Star Wars lore. They said Rebels and Clone Wars and the prequels, and that's the only thing that's canon. They wiped away tons of material. Why can't they do it with the movie?
Because it's going to disrespect too many people. Like, beyond even just Kathleen Kennedy.
Not really.
The
There's
cast, the crew. It's just fans who liked it, which, let's be honest, they're there.
No,
they did see the
like
film.
12 of them.
No, it's more than 12. But my point is, like, I don't know. It shows failure.
You don't
I don't think
one,
you can do it.
Something else. All right, that's just one option. That's one option. Here's the other option that I would like. You simply go straight into 10, 11, and 12. Episode 10, boop. What happened? Oh, yeah, that was just a fantasy. That was just a hallucination. Luke Skywalker's right there, bruh. It was a dream. Do it like that freaking, like they did with Breaking Bad, where Walt just woke up from, what was it, Malcolm in the Middle? He was like, I had this weird dream that I was a meth dealer, and I had a friend named Jesse, and we all died. You're just dreaming. Yeah, it's crazy. Dream. Simple as that. Move forward, bro.
You call it the Dream Trilogy?
Dream trilogy. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes no sense. Because Lucas always wanted just the 3 trilogies. It was whether that's the way it should be or not. he sort of made
They're
that
not
clear.
listening to Lucas. They disrespected.
No, but I'm
George
saying
Lucas.
I think at this point they realized, shit, we have to. But look, I would be fine with it. I can't see them having the balls to be that. I think time travel is a cheap way to do it.
The dog woke up. Somebody in the chat said the dog woke up. The dog had the dream about the sequel trilogy. That makes perfect sense. They had to take him to the vet. He was having terrible nightmares.
What is going on? Look, you're right, but there's no way. There's no way they would have the balls to do it. I think time travel allows them to sort of respectfully say, "Hey, JJ, Ryan, and all the fans, thank you guys. You can have them. We're gonna try and do something else. That way we can continue this direction that we're having so much, popularity with. But that way fans can be surprised. They don't know where it's headed. We can go a different direction. We can give people couple of choices. It's like Flashpoint, right? It's just like what they're doing with what they're gonna do with Marvel, what they're gonna do with DC. They're all gonna have multiple timelines, multiverses. Why can't Star Wars figure out a similar way to sort of hit the reset button and let fans do it? It's way easier for a Flashpoint scenario than those movies were shit. We're moving on. They don't exist. Everyone who worked on it, see ya.
Element in the comics that everybody knows and loves. Star Wars doesn't really have that scenario, and that's why with the MCU when they did it with Endgame used time travel with the stones.
Dude,
that didn't make any sense.
They have the Force. Super Force. Good person
if you sell
could.
it to me, I could buy it. Yeah,
they could figure out some clever way to create it. We are now in a different.
I'm just
where
not
are
in
we?
love with the time travel thing. I think it's cheap.
Sure. So whatever the Star Wars equivalent of time travel is, how about that? They're not going to go into some big time machine and go, wait, put the buttons.
Naturally, right.
Yeah, if it's some Force version of idea of multiverse, then you're more into it than saying the word. I hear what you're saying. Time travel is a bad way to call it.
I'm down for whatever changes these stupid sequels. Understand, but if I could pick, time travel would probably be the last resort for me. How about that?
Fair enough. I have one more thing I'm gonna do before I clip this because I'm gonna probably talk about this in a greater deal because I'm gonna finish it. But I wanted to reveal it to you first. So I finally showed my kid Star Wars: A New Hope and then Empire Strikes Back. And my kid just doesn't really love them, but he liked Empire better. He was like, yeah, that was definitely better than the first one. So he at least noticed that. But he's really getting into Mandalorian. I mean, not like super, but he's engrossed. He's invested. He likes it. It's fun action. And he loves Baby Yoda. And so Mandalorian is sort of what my kids have really gotten into. And so I had him over this week for Thanksgiving. He and I had sort of a dude's week, which was great, some time together. And so I finally had some time like, you know what? Let's try Phantom Menace because now he knows I'm like because I told him I was like
broke out the big guns. Let's go.
I told him because he didn't know I had been saving the reveal. I'd been saving the Darth Vader reveal. So for 8 years, he's 8. He had never known that Darth Vader was fun. So I got the moment. I finally got him to watch it. And he's like, what? Wait, what? And it was awesome. I got that dad moment I've been wanting to do for so long. And so that I decided to do the machete cut because I was like, he's interested. Before I go into Return of the Jedi and end it properly, I was like, you know what? I told him, like, there's a whole series of movies where you get to see who Anakin Skywalker is. And he's like, Anakin, is that Darth Vader? I'm like, I don't know, man. Let's watch it and find out, shall we? He's like, okay. So he's like, oh, that's Obi-Wan. So he got into it and he watched it. Dude, he loved it. It is now his favorite Star Wars over the other two, as I suspected it might. And it just goes to show, like, it's a generational thing, and definitely kids, I think, appeal for it more. But he was so much more into Episode 1 than he was Empire or Star. He's like, dude, it was like 10 times better. I don't know why. What are you talking about, Dad? You're crazy.
That's
but
right.
It was just funny to see a kid watch it and be like, dude, he loved the pod race. He loved Anakin as a kid because he's 8, so he could relate. He actually really enjoyed the Darth Maul sequence. Was really exciting for him. All of it. He's
Daddy
like
Qui-Gon.
I kept saying, yeah, and he liked Obi-Wan. I was like, what do you think of Jar Jar? Is he annoying or funny? He's like, both. So he sort of liked.
I'll take that.
The annoying funniness of it. But to me, I went with that machete cut version because I was like, he's gonna like these more. So if I can go back after Empire and like get him to like those at least, fine. That's not what I really wanted to do, but see if he enjoys them. And he's now in Grace. He wants to watch it with his sister, and then
that's right.
So I got him into the prequels. He's interested. It is what it is.
It's over.
I'm waiting. When it's all over, I'll do a bigger video. I might even get them to sort of knock and talk so you can see how it really goes. And then after I get that, then I'll go back. All right, now let's go revisit and see what happened to Luke and Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, so they can really sort of enjoy it because they don't know Luke and Leia are brother sister yet, all that stuff. So they'll find out sort of through that at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So I thought that could be a funner reveal for them. So we'll see. I'll keep you all posted. But I thought you would enjoy that. Of course, my kid, who hates Star Wars, finally has signed up for Star Wars through Phantom Menace.
Respect to the prequels, Andy. I hope you're prepared. After your son gets through the nightmare headache that will be episode 2, once he gets to that 3, he's going to like the prequels more than the original trilogy. Looking back, I believe this.
Yeah, it's true. Look, I'm very curious. Will he like Attack of the Clones? Because Anakin's older. He probably won't. It's a lot.
It will blow his mind to see Yoda in episode 2 fight Dooku.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's true. The as you've said a million times, the saber battles are so much better. But Padme, and it's so weird. But the truth, no disrespect to my own son, but 8-year-olds look at films a little bit more forgiving, and so the wooden acting and all that stuff doesn't matter to them. He just is engrossed by the colors and the fun action and some of the cool stuff. And so Phantom Menace made sense to why he liked that one best. But anyway, it was interesting how that goes down. Much more to talk about here, but this is an interesting idea. But it sounds like bottom line of this first topic of the day, and we're going to keep talking about more. We are down for Mandalorian using Luke Skywalker in the future.
Absolutely. Please do it.
There we go. What do you guys think of the comments? Hit us up down below. You can always subscribe to Joey's Corner, Popcorn Planet. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. We're not done. But if you're watching on the playback, catch us live. We're Tuesdays and Thursdays here on Popcorn Planet, and Jody's live pretty much every other night. So join us. Thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere, live viewers. I'm clipping this for later. And if you always want to watch the full uncensored version of these streams, become a member. They're always available in the next morning of the stream.